Palestinian rallies and pro-Israel demonstrations held across Australia, SBS News. Thousands rally across Sydney and Melbourne in support of both Israel and Palestinian territories. Police deploy hundreds of officers in Sydney and Melbourne as thousands of demonstrators take to the streets. Rallies took place in both Sydney and Melbourne on Sunday. Source: AAP, SBS. Key points: a demonstration in support of Israel is being held in Sydney's Martin Place. A pro-Palestine rally also got underway in Sydney's Hyde Park on Sunday afternoon. Events were also taking place in Melbourne. The haunting images of children kidnapped by Hamas gunmen have been placed in empty prams in Sydney's CBD, as the demonstration saw people holding and showing artworks by local and Jewish artists depicting the quote. Hundreds of pairs of shoes and photographs were laid out to represent the 230 Israeli men, women and children kidnapped in raids by the militants on the 7th of October. The Jewish community is pleading for authorities to do more to secure the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. A brief history. Why Ali fears for his family in Lebanon. What is Hezbollah and how is the Lebanese group involved in the Israel-Hamas conflict? Read more. Israel pounds Gaza and declares second phase of war amid warnings of intolerable suffering. We're not going to be scared. Some in the Jewish community say they are scared to go out amid Middle East political tensions. Some of our community is scared to even go out as a Jewish person, one speaker said. This generation is a different generation. This generation is smarter, wiser, and we're not going to be scared. Rally in support of Palestine. A pro-Palestine rally also got underway in Sydney's Hyde Park on Sunday afternoon. Organisers for the event expected an even larger turnout than the 15,000 people who marched through the Sydney CBD last weekend. Thousands of Australians have already joined protests in support of Palestinians after Israeli forces bombarded the Hamas-controlled Gaza Strip in retaliation for the bloody incursion on the 7th of October that left more than 1,000 Israelis dead. Read more. How could the Hamas-Israel war end? Experts predict possible outcomes, pointing to Palestinian support rallies from earlier this month where some people who gathered chanted offensive slogans. Opposition leader Peter Dutton warned similar scenes on Sunday could damage Australia's international reputation. Nobody wants to see a loss of life in the Middle East or anywhere else. Nobody will tolerate discrimination against any Australian regardless of their religious faith or their background, he told Sky News. More rallies in Melbourne. In Melbourne, Zionism Victoria estimated about 2,000 people gathered at Caulfield Park in the city's southeast to call for the hostages' immediate return. Victoria Police later said 1,000 people attended the rally, where there were no incidents. There was a strong sentiment and feeling of community solidarity, Zionism Victoria President Yossi Goldfarb told AAP. Thousands of people also gathered at the State Library in Melbourne's CBD on Sunday in support of a free Palestine, with children among the attendees holding placards in a sea of Palestine flags. The crowd chanted, "Free, free Palestine," and one speaker told attendees, "What is going on is nothing short of genocide. We need to be very clear in demanding a ceasefire," the speaker said. Read more. Israel told civilians in Gaza to move south for their safety. Why is it still striking there? Police were also present at the Free Palestine event in Melbourne. A Victoria Police spokeswoman said officers' top priority was keeping the peace and ensuring the event was safe for the people attending as well as the broader community. Greens leader Adam Ban on Sunday reiterated calls for a ceasefire and condemned Labour's failure to vote for a ceasefire at the UN General Assembly. Used for emergency generators are running out. Share this with family and friends. Recommended for you. Feeling depleted by work? This is how Melanie beat burnout without quitting her job. Health. How Hamas secretly built a mini army to fight Israel. World. Planning a Europe trip? These are the cheapest cities to fly into. Life. Here are the Melbourne and Sydney neighbourhoods ranked among the world's coolest. Australia. This is the best place in the world to be a woman, researchers say. Life. Video games and false hostages. How Hamas-Israel war information is weaponized. World. Days after voice vote, Peter Dutton waters down Indigenous recognition commitment. Politics. Jobless, homeless and on the verge of losing it all. Until a Queensland community rallied behind them. Australia. Topics. SBS World News. Explore SBS. SBS Home. SBS On Demand. News. Audio. Languages. What's on? TV and radio guide. Food. Indigenous. Sport. Voices. Teaching resources. Languages. Arabic. Pu Tong Hua, Mandarin. Guang Dong Hua, Cantonese. Tieng Viet, Vietnamese. Hanyujao, Korean. See all languages. Contact SBS. 1-800-500-727, toll free. Help Centre. Loxbag 028, Crow's Nest, New South Wales 1585. Follow SBS. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Copyright. Terms and conditions. Privacy. Your online preferences. Sales and advertising. Complaints. SBS Code of Practice. Careers. About Us. SBS acknowledges the traditional custodians of country and their connections and continuous care for the skies, lands and waterways throughout Australia.